What are your qualifications?
Well, I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of the Harvard Business School. I travel quite extensively. I lived through the Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. Now, what do you think? You think I'm qualified?
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Well, Jim,
What was that?
it's 4th of July.
No, it's not. It's the 3rd of July.
You ruined the what's the word I'm looking for?
The intro?
The intro.
The theme.
The theme.
The intro bumper?
It's the 4th of July when this drops.
Yeah, but so
We got to pretend that we're
pretending that we are on the 4th of July.
Yeah, we're at a family barbecue.
And that the scent of barbecue is wafting over the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Will Smith, huh?
Will Smith, The Independence Day. It's the perfect
Welcome
movie.
to Earth.
Sequel was fantastic.
Perfect
Oh, no.
movie
Good God.
to watch on the 4th of July.
Hey, we made it.
Yeah.
Brady, we did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Episode 14.
This is the one that we kind of like, all right. This is
We
this
downhill
is
from
it.
here.
Yeah, this is it.
All downhill.
This is it. We've planned this one out, saying, okay, as soon as we get to episode 14, this is when we just start mailing it in.
Mail it in.
Yeah,
We're like bringing on guests that have initials for names.
Yeah.
We don't even try anymore.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't
done.
even try that. It's like Homer J. Simpson. It doesn't stand for anything. You know,
It's just
the
the
J.
JR.
So we decided to split it up because he's tired of being called Junior.
Junior. Yes.
So this is JR.
That's what Indiana Jones should have did. You know, they'd just say JR, and then he would have.
JR Jones.
Yeah.
Would he still would have hired Shia LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf to swing from monkey vines.
Never.
That
didn't happen.
So how long is our episode today?
We're gonna go for the full hour.
Full hour.
Oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We got we were actually, this is the first time where Jim and I went to two separate movies to cover for this episode.
I like that guy Gemini.
Yeah, Gemini.
He's a good dude.
Gemini.
Gemini cricket.
Gemini seems to be busy.
Gemini is he's
a
always,
busy dude.
He's always out there.
Doesn't complain.
No, never. He's just a hard worker.
He saw two movies at the same time this week.
Two. Yeah, you put one on
One
over
for each
eye and
eyeball.
the other, the other one in front of the other one, and two different headphones. It was very impressive.
Got different things on each viewing.
on our today's show, we got J.R. Curtis.
Hello.
He's a local actor, producer, writer.
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Writing and acting are probably what I do the most of, though.
Okay. He's also got a very good radio voice. He was telling me before that he does a lot of impressions. So if you have an impression.
Attempted. No, please don't ask.
Okay.
No, I can do a couple that are like, it's in the ballpark, and then the rest of them are in the parking lot tailgating.
Okay.
At the other parking lot.
At the other parking lot or the other field in the other state.
Okay. And then we also got Emily in the producer studio.
Back.
She's back.
Hi.
We didn't fire Talon.
Yeah, he's on a family vacation
Okay.
in Island Park, Idaho.
I thought Talon did great.
Yeah, you did awesome.
Yeah, he's
Everyone-
easily been top two producers we've had for this show so far. He's been the top two. Easily.
I mean, I was the third, so.
Yeah, you're terrible.
And but no, he did great, but he's out doing smarter things.
He's doing the 4th of July at the lake with four-wheelers and boats and
It's more fun
yeah,
than this.
Jackson
Being
Hole.
17.
And here we are in the city in a
Talking about
recording
movies.
booth.
If we get out of here soon enough, we can go see the fireworks at the park.
Because
Oh,
it is 4th of July,
Yes.
as we stated earlier.
exactly.
Good thing. And they did them last night on the 3rd, so if we were around on...
Yeah, they always do them on the 3rd. It's weird,
Yeah.
you know. Good thing today's the
Well,
4th, and there's
lots of
fireworks
pollution.
to
If you guys
see.
watched yesterday's soccer game on the 3rd, there was a fireworks afterwards. So
Oh, well, that's good.
that's why.
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, I work for the station that puts it on,
Oh, okay.
so it does.
I wasn't aware of your credentials. I apologize.
Yeah, how dare you?
You should read.
Do some.
He didn't know who Spencer Checketts was either. So
Oh,
yeah,
just kidding.
not a
It's
sports guy over there.
not a sports guy, which is fine because it's the movie.
I love
hour.
it at baseball when they hit a home run
A
for the
dinger.
Super Bowl.
A
Dinger.
dinger.
I love the dingers.
When they make a goal.
So on today's show, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk to JR and about his career and what got him to acting for a little bit. Afterwards, we're going to jump into the movies that Jim and I saw this week. I went and saw Spider-Man Far From Home. We're going to talk about that and kind of the Spider-Man universe and just what is our favorite of the Spider-Man
The
movies.
Spider-Verse?
the Spider-Verse in a way to say it. It's a good way.
My favorite cut of a Spider-Man movie would just be a 2-hour loop of Tobey Maguire dancing in the street
From 3.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's the best way to watch.
That's
them.
like, just show me that and I'm done. That's all I need to see.
Jim and Emily went and saw Stuber for a press screening, an early screening yesterday. So I'm excited to hear.
Oh, like a full almost 2 weeks early.
Oh yeah, so it comes out
The 12th.
Yeah, you're right. I forget how early So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys thought about that, and we'll definitely talk about that. And then we also we got so many movies to talk about.
Movies, we better get going.
We got our flashback movie reviews. We got Good Time and Hell or High Water.
I also watched the movie that our last guest asked us to watch. Did you watch that one, Blue Ruin?
I was not able to.
I guess so. I can
talk
do
about that?
my 30-second movie summary.
Okay, and then afterwards, we'll talk about what's coming up next, what we have planned for the show, and some movie news that I can throw out and see what everyone, if we never get to it.
We never do it.
But if we get to it, it'll be there.
Should leave a Post-it note to remember to remind ourselves.
And then we got
the string around the
movie
finger.
challenges afterwards. So without further ado, JR, what happened to the rock band?
The rock band, we got back from a tour, and then, I don't know, things just kind of fizzled out from there.
What was the name of the rock band? Or was it just you guys playing the Nintendo rock band? And
that was our opening act. Like, we would pull out those instruments, and then we'd set them down and go get the real ones.
Nice.
And then, yeah.
To kind of go off of that real fast, you know how funny that would be to be like an actual like rock band,
but kill it like 100% all 4 guys.
Just like you guys are touring like the country, just like but like they think they're booking real bands, but you're just rock.
We
band
show
players.
up and we have the rock band instruments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're just like bringing your Xbox around and plugging in and just like setting up a TV.
It's like, hey, does anybody have an HDMI cable? I think we lost it. Yeah.
So anyway,
band name.
Band name is Dysfunction was what that one was called.
Genre.
Genre was hard rock and heavy metal, kind of in the same vein as Metallica and Black Sabbath.
Like hand over mic stuff, or
no? It was I was the singer and guitarist in that one,
and tambourine,
and lead triangle.
Good.
You know, you got to get those accents.
That's what I am too. That's
I would hang the triangle from the top of the guitar, and I would just.
In junior high, when I was not talented and in the band, they sent me in the back to play the triangle.
Aww.
And I would just wave my hand around. Just
did you say dinner time a lot of times when you?
I should have.
Come and get it.
He gets taken off the band because he won't stop saying dinner time.
the band teacher really hated me.
Hey, it was funny the first time, Braden, but like this is like the 600th time you've made the dinner time joke.
But when you're in 6th grade, that is like the funniest thing ever. Like you catch one good joke. And
you coast on it until junior high.
Just for the record,
years.
we couldn't stay on topic on the first topic. I'm
the worst at tangents, so
doomed.
I'm not going to assist.
True.
In this.
Yeah, JR. But
so the band broke up.
So they still do they have their own project now. Most of the members of the band. I got back and it just kind of fizzled out for me. I was, music was kind of a cocool segue into film, and I still do music. I've done music for a good amount of our films so far this year. I just have some basic recording gear, and I'll record guitar or digital instruments and do some of the scores that way. I did a couple songs today for the Western that we have coming out in August next month that we shot last year.
So you got heavy metal songs on a Western.
No.
I'd like to see that. That's a good combo.
Only movie I did anything remotely heavy metal was Fubar, which that came out, I want to say March.
Fubar with Oscar,
Aiden, Shane Morrison, a lot of the locals here, Lucre Films, and
I love how Oscar and Isaac didn't get their last names, but Shane Morrison
sure got his plug.
I feel like there's more Shanes than Oscars or Aidens.
That's a good point.
I've seen a few Shanes, I feel like. So
I only know of one Shane, and he's my favorite Shane. The dog.
Oh.
We nicknamed Shane. Shane was on the Western too, and we nicknamed him the Sauce, and so that's what we referred to him as for the remainder of the shoot.
Okay, that's a good nickname for Shane.
I mean, yeah, he's still referred to as the Sauce.
The Sauce. All right.
But yeah, Oscar, Aiden, David. What was his last? I don't remember. But it's I did heavy metal for that one. There's a kind of action-packed sequence at the end that I did some distorted guitars for and stuff.
Excellent. So now, the one that you say you're working on now is a Western. So, in all honesty, what's that one about?
So that one is called Angel de la Muerte.
How do you spell that?
It's spelled Angel de la and then Muerte.
I said spell that. THAT.
Oh, got him.
Bam.
Oh.
Bam.
Got him. That's
Spelled
another one.
that.
Bam.
Got him.
That's another one. Jim does that to everybody. Don't worry.
That was yeah.
Nobody's caught him yet.
Not yet. We can
But,
see who's listening to the shows, huh?
Oh yeah, it's real test.
I'm already off topic. What was? So you asked me to spell it.
Ala de la Huerde.
Angel de la Muerte, which is actually the name of the outlaw in the movie. It's his nickname is the Angel of Death, and so I'm actually one of the characters in it. We're a group of outlaws that we've been cornered in the Arizona desert by a Texas Ranger and a posse. And we're deciding to make a break for it or fight for it. And so, ends up being a big gun battle out on the sands of the
Fight or
desert.
flee.
Yeah.
Where are you shooting this?
We already shot it. We shot it back in November of last year in Duchesne.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good place to.
It was a great. It came together amazingly. Everybody on that set was like a well-oiled machine. I don't think with anybody different in the entire crew could we have pulled it off.
I'm pretty sure Duchesne's still in the Western times and whole.
Oh, it looked perfect.
Yeah.
It was. We literally got on. I was like, we were like, oh, where should we shoot this? And I was like, hey, let's check Airbnb. And then we get on there and there's like a Western ranch for $80 a day or whatever.
Nice.
And so we had the whole place, like a whole cast stayed on set.
And for a small donation of 2 goats, you could take one of the daughters home.
Yeah. There was a dog, though. There was a stray dog that hung out with us for most of it. We named him Gibbles.
Gibbles, did he make an appearance in the movie?
I think he did after
Nice.
we called cut, thank God. I think it was actually somebody's job each take to hold back the dog from running into the frame because we had no idea where to send him. He wouldn't go home. He hung out with us the whole time.
That guy had rabies when he was done. He's very sick.
Took a chomp out of it.
We had no
The leaves.
insurance.
This
he
arm
died.
is actually fake. It's just a really nice one. I had to get a new one after he bit me.
All right, and then this comes out beginning of August. Or is this another one?
So we I think it's second week of August right now. I think we're just negotiating, or I think we're actually in the just setting it in stage for. I think Jordan Commons Megaplex is where we're gonna show it at.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
So, and I mean, I'm sure I
by my
can get you
place.
guys a couple press passes or something if you guys wanted to come check the film out.
Can we actually get press passes? Like,
That'd be cool.
don't give them out to don't give them out to anybody else.
Yeah.
Just like press.
I already promised one to Slug Magazine, so
Oh, okay. Well,
those
write
guys.
VIP on it and give us a
I
lanyard.
won't make you guys sit next to each other. It's okay.
No, we like Slug. Slug's cool.
Slug is cool. They're actually reviewing another film that we have that's showing at the showcase that we're doing August 3rd that we're showing, I think, 6 of our films that we've done this year into like one big event night, and that is Thicker Than Water. And that one I'm pretty excited about. It's kind of like an homage to older Grindhouse films with a more modern spin on it. And so that'll be the first time that's ever been seen. Slug actually got...
For those that don't know what Grindhouse...
So Grindhouse is...
For us common folk.
So, I mean, there's a lot of people that, there's people that have different definitions of what Grindhouse is. It's usually more graphic in nature, bloody, gritty, and it's also lower budget film techniques. And so it looks super different than any other film. Like, watching Grindhouse to Grindhouse, they all have different weird little things that you're like what the hell was that? But I love the movie regardless. Like Evil Dead could be considered Grindhouse. There's because everybody has a loose definition of it. So
Yeah.
continuing to go through those, there was a modern one like Hobo with a Shotgun that came out like probably 8 years ago. That was a gnarly Grindhouse movie, and it had what's his name, the guy from Blade Runner, the
Ryan...
Not the new one.
Rutger
Hauer. Not the...
So you got
Hauer.
Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling?
The replicant that does the
He's
monologue.
so dreamy.
Rutger Hauer?
No,
I was
Ryan
like-
Gosling.
I was like,
okay.
Rutger Hauer, years have not been kind to him. I didn't even know it was him when I saw that movie.
You know,
I was
if he
like,
started drunk texting me, Gosling, I'd be okay with it.
I'd be like, do whatever you
I'd
want.
first be like, how'd you get this number? But
I'm like, new phone, who this?
Who's going on the tangent now?
I don't know. Okay, back to what you were...
Just trying to help.
We're saying how we find Ryan Gosling.
He's a movie guy.
Yeah.
He's very attractive.
I feel
What?
like Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds have been mentioned many times on our podcast saying how beautiful they are.
They are beautiful people.
And
I asked somebody at my job the other day, I was like, if you had to have sex with the same gendered celebrity, no matter what, like who would you pick? And like we were just going off on the tangent of that, and I was
Normal office fodder.
oh
yes.
yeah, well I work
Yes.
I work at a bar a couple nights a week,
Okay.
and so yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff like that. And I said John Goodman just for the story, you know. I feel like
He'd got a lot of stories.
he'd be really cuddly too.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know,
That'd
you
be a
just
good
fall
one.
asleep.
He's got a low libido, so you don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah.
Keep us back on track. Stay on target.
Stay on target. You've
Stay
turned off
on
your targeting
target.
computer.
Your movies that are coming out in August 3rd.
Yeah, I heard something about
August
a showcase or
Grindhouse.
something like
Yeah.
that.
What's that?
You had like a showcase
A
coming
showcase.
up?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
coming
have a
up.
showcase. It's the Lucre Films showcase that we're probably doing at Jordan Commons Megaplex. I think we're just locking the location down now, and there's 2 never before seen films coming out.
Never before
These
seen.
are all short films.
These are all short films. The longest would be probably Thicker Than Water or Fubar, which clock in around 20 minutes. And then the shortest being probably El Negocio, which is, I believe, 7 minutes long. And that's a foreign language film. We've shown a lot. So I think 4 of them we've shown already, but we're just, you know.
So you're asking us to read?
Oh, only for 7 minutes. It's actually, it's pretty funny. It's in Spanish, and Oscar and Enrique, one of our editors, just as a joke, they threw in this part where this guy whistles to his friend, and they put in the caption, calls homie in Spanish. And I was like, keep that in. That's hilarious.
No, I want to do a foreign film, like a foreign episode, but I'm afraid people won't want to read. But I'm like, there's still good films just because you got to
I
read
think
it.
like a foreign, like where we all learn.
I
a
think
different
probably-
No.
language.
You have to read don't read the dub versions because those are
Dub
terrible.
versions
No,
are terrible.
Terrible.
I thought you were
I was
asking.
set straight on foreign films by my 8th grade teacher who watched Life is Beautiful, and she
That's usually
kept
the
it.
one.
She kept it in the Italian language and it was amazing. I love
I
that
watched
film
that
still.
one subtitled.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. But no, I thought you were asking. Like,
No,
we were gonna.
I'm not gonna make people
have-
study. You're gonna learn Spanish.
Jim and I are gonna come in and speak in
That
a
Jim and
different
I's gonna be
language.
busy. He's gonna learn a new language.
No habla.
But
One of our movie challenges was subtitled.
oh
Which
yeah,
one?
Emily's movie that she suggested for us to watch
Which one?
The night.
comes
Comes
for
for
us. Yeah, it was an Indonesian film that we watched.
I was
I haven't heard
probably
of that
busy.
Yeah, you were
It
busy.
was
you were,
super
you were
action
gone.
packed and violent.
one. Nice.
It's
I
from
like those kind.
the
like
the
the
lead
characters,
character
that's why.
is from The Raid. So
Okay.
Oh.
He's
Okay.
also in Stuber, so fun
is he really?
connection.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow.
Oh, nice.
So,
We'll talk about that later.
and
So what's next? What are you
Yeah.
gonna work on next after you got like new script? Or you just finishing up old projects? Like, what's-
So we finished. Well, so last thing we shot probably was probably back in March, but we started a project just barely with one that I wrote that we Stephen Haar and Oscar Sanchez are co-directing that we started shooting the other day. That's a botched heist short film. That'll be kind of fun. I'm in that one. We were shooting. It was a scene in the back of a van that we were shooting, and so I was in a hot van in July for
down by the river.
you know why he's in a van down by the river? By the way, do you know why?
Matt Foley.
Do you know
yeah.
why he's down by a river? There's a specific reason why a van would be parked by the river. Do you know why?
So you can pee in the river? Out of
No.
water?
It's cooler.
Oh.
And if you're gonna live somewhere that's hot and you're in a van, if
So
you
that's why Matt Foley says, I live in a van down,
down by the river
river.
because it's
You
his air
should have
conditioning
You should have
We
taken
should have
that.
parked. We should have shot by,
by
the
a
river.
river. Then your sound would have been crap. But
Yeah.
You
no.
wouldn't have been hot.
That would have been, yeah, that's the plus. Yeah.
The sound's crap.
Get
but
out of here,
we-
production value. We
we-
want comfort.
we had to loop the entire movie, but it's worth it because we weren't hot.
How come your lips are up when you
It's a
speak?
foreign language film. We just decided to dub it last minute, actually.
But it's in English still.
No. You're,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't ask too many questions.
So what are you gonna do with this stuff when you're done? Like I know you got the showcase, but are you gonna put it in festivals?
Yeah,
Are you
so
gonna
we are
hustle on the streets, buy my movie.
I think we're going to do a festival circuit run. I think we've submitted a few. I think we just sent a couple to Film Quest, so I think we'll find out in the next couple weeks. I think that's when their notification date is on Film Freeway, but who knows? Which we sent Thicker Than Water to, which I'm excited because I wrote that one and co-directed that one with Oscar. And
The other ones are crap. That one's good though.
No,
that
it's-
one's good.
other ones are great, but like I got it's more cool seeing, words you put on a page turned into people and words and things happening on a screen.
Watch Oscar.
Is that how
picture 'em.
babies are made?
No.
Oh, okay.
Brady, I told you we talk about that a few more years, bud.
Okay.
Just you more. I'll have.
I saw a connection. And I thought that's how
I'll
it
have
went.
Talon and Steve sit down.
Oh,
And we got the Steve plug.
You got him in there.
Big brother could talk about the birds and the bees. Because if your dad asked you, he'd be all like, "Okay, what do you know?" You have a notebook. You take notes.
Flowchart,
Flowchart.
diagrams.
And then what
Diagram.
happened, son?
Venn diagram, because why?
It'll just be like the
knows?
American Pie, where he has the magazine.
Show me on the doll where the girl touched you.
It was here, and it was awesome.
This has been a wild in first 20 minutes of the podcast.
All over the place.
Emily's sitting back there. It's like, I don't know what to do.
Are you taking minutes?
You guys.
Are you taking minutes?
I don't even
Yeah,
know.
we're at
What's-
19.
I don't
we're
even
at
know what's
19 minutes
happening
right
now.
So your movies.
Yes.
Your what's the goal with so you want to get into some festivals. But what is your goal after this? Like after you're done with all the movies that you're currently doing, is there a project that you're really passionate about that you're wanting to get to paper and start writing, or
As far as me personally,
yeah,
um,
maybe a story about a band that just didn't make it?
I would love
Then
to do. I've tossed
aspiring
around a few
actor.
ideas and doing because I saw a couple years ago American Satan. Did you guys see that movie? It was it's like a rock band. They sell their souls to the devil and they get really famous. But it was actually pretty cool. And I was trying to think of in what capacity I could do like a rock band and kind of a thriller mystery setting. But that's just an idea. But as far as what I've worked on recently, I'm kind of laying out this horror script that I want to write as a feature. I did expand Thicker Than Water just barely into a feature length script that I would love to shoot. Maybe marketing the short as proof of concept, who knows? But that was a blast to work on, and the characters that everybody developed in that, blown away. And so I wanted to, immediately people were asking like on the last day set, like, what happens next? Are we doing another one of these? And so I was like, yeah, I gotta keep exploring these characters. They're too cool to not figure out what they're gonna do next.
So when you hire someone else to play them in the full feature, you can say, "This is what we did originally. This is what I want you to do."
Yeah. Hey, person that we can actually make money from
Yeah,
putting you in the movie with.
Mr. Reynolds, please do it a little.
Please
like
do it this way.
Ryan, yeah, Mr.
Well,
Mr.
luckily,
Gosling.
the feature script of
Get
that
them
one,
both.
I kept, because when I write, I'll do what would be amazing, what would still get the point across, but I can afford to shoot. And so I feel like Thicker Than Water, I could shoot for a low budget, a low budget amount, and I would love to do that. That's one that's on my shelf. I think I have 3 or 4 feature length scripts that I sit on in case.
It's weird.
They're
You
needed.
just-
Why
you
would
don't
you sit
seem
on
short.
Well, sometimes they'd
you don't seem short.
Yeah, you gotta like keep them warm though,
Yeah.
or else they'll die.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay.
Done a lot more with his life than I ever did.
No. What are you talking about? You got the big chair.
You have the big chair.
I have the
doing
big
good.
chair.
You're doing good.
It's like, when I was your age, I was still in college.
I mean, when the family talks, of course, they talk about Steve and how proud they are of him. But and
true.
then
And then
Tambi and how smart she is and how great she does. And then
But I got a podcast.
you got a podcast.
You got a podcast.
with your uncle. All right.
How can the people get tickets or get notified for your film festival that's coming out? Not festival, but screenings.
We have a Facebook event page set up for it, the Luke Ray Film Showcase. We'll be putting all the announcements in there. You can add me on Facebook if you want, and I'll keep you up. I'll be
We
posting.
got a lot of fans, so
Go for it. I
get
don't
hoarded. You're gonna get
I
hoarded
already
with
have so
friends
many
requests.
people. I have no idea who they are on my Facebook.
Now,
But
if I remember, these tickets are for sale though. They're not giving these away, right?
no, this one we're kind of doing it as an event at Megaplex, and so I think we'll have concessions and stuff, and then like a Q&A at the end. So I think it's like $8. I don't think it's too pricey, especially for I think 6 films we're showing. It'll be a couple-hour event.
What age group? Like,
I would say, I mean, there's that one movie, Thicker Than Water. I don't want anybody too young to see, but people are going to bring their kids to whatever they're going to bring them to.
So leave your girlfriend at home, Brady.
There is some graphic nature, and I mean, there's some blood and violence and language in some of these films, and so just take that with a grain of salt. If you'd like to come check it out, there are some adult themes, but it'll be a fun night. So come check it out if you would so desire.
I've had very many rated R movies where there's kids in the theater.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they
Yeah.
feel very uncomfortable.
Oh, I went and saw. I when Deadpool came out, I don't
Yeah.
think parents got the memo that it wasn't a kid movie, and I saw so many parents walk their kids out of that
Oh,
movie.
yeah. Oh, did you see Sausage Party?
No, I
That
saw
was
it.
an
I saw it
experience for me.
after that last 10 minutes. I was like,
When Talon was younger, I'd take him to some of them because he really wanted to see them, and I'd take him in, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm that dad, I'm that dad," and then I'd see younger kids, and I'm like, "Oh, that's
we're
okay,
good.
okay, cool,
That's
cool,
okay.
cool."
I saw
Craziest thing was like Halloween a year or two ago when it came out. There was like a kid came to my door. And he was
horror movies
he was
seem to be
dressed as Georgie, and I'm like, your parents do not love you. They're hoping you get your arm ripped off by a clown.
Hope you can afford therapy.
But I remember seeing The Favorite last year.
Yeah.
And I went on my Oscar movie kind of watch fest, and I was sitting there by myself, and all of a sudden this mom and her mother brought their two daughters who were maybe like 4 and
Some
7.
serious adult themes in that one.
Yeah, there's some serious adult themes in that one.
Same as Logan. I saw kids get walked out of Logan when I went and saw that because they're like, "Oh, Wolverine, he's cool," and then he was cutting people's heads off. And I fucking loved Logan. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Oh, now my mom is going to be upset.
I forgot to ask.
We're fine.
You have broken Carolyn's rule.
You got one.
Got one.
And
now it's PG-13.
No, it's
so
PG-13.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
I didn't mean to.
Sorry, Mom.
I have a pretty bad sailor mouth, so
okay.
one or two slips out even if I'm on
It's
my
okay.
best behavior.
You haven't heard our original shows. They were pretty. Jim was out of line. Not a line, Jim.
Yeah, just
I got told to shut up.
Just beep that one. Just beep that one out. You know.
Yeah, we don't edit this.
But we're gonna close out on that interview. We're gonna
Yeah, man, you're done.
Okay.
You're putting time out.
I put the F-bomb out there, and now my interview's canceled.
Dang it. That was a good 20 minutes. That was good.
Yeah, it was good, and I'm excited to come check it out. And you're gonna have to let us
press packs.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
hit us
I'll
up.
keep in contact for sure, and we'd love to hear what you guys think of the films.
Oh yeah,
And we'll talk about them on our next show because I believe that is if it's this right around the same time, 2O is going to come back on our show and we'll talk to him about all that stuff. So
okay,
and
yeah, it's like August. So that'd be like August 3rd, the week of.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the week 2. I had scheduled 2 to come back. So,
I know, I saw.
Right?
I read the emails.
Just making sure Jim reads my emails.
I
that I
read
send
the
him.
email.
This week, another big blockbuster movie dropped. Spider-Man: Far From Home came out.
I thought it was. No, that's right. It was Spider-Man.
I was worried which one are you gonna pull out of that one.
I was supposed to see that today, and I couldn't make it. I
It's
gave my
'cause
ticket away.
Good, because this is more important.
This is.
But yeah, I really will not hide behind it. I love the MCU. Every single movie I really enjoy. Going into this movie, I was curious to see how
where they were going to take it after Endgame.
It's such a big scope. It's hard to kind of bring it back down to earth with a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
And to close out phase 3? Phase 4?
Phase 3. Phase 3. It's
Yeah,
the end of phase 3.
Phase 3.
Oh, I'm curious to see how they're going to keep the momentum going after that monument is.
And all the characters are now starting to leave and bringing in new people.
Exactly, and that's a good point, Jim, because that's kind of the story of the movie is that they want Spider-Man to be the next Iron Man, the next Captain America. They want him to be the new leader, and that just kind of weighs on. He's 16.
We all should follow 16-year-olds.
Yeah, he's 16 years old, and so he's just not prepared for it, and that's kind of the story. This movie is a lot more of Peter Parker than it is Spider-Man. A lot more of a high school romance movie with some Spider-Man sprinkled on top of it.
I think it's the Peter Tingle.
The Peter Tingle. That was the funniest bit in the entire movie.
The Peter Tingle.
The Peter Tingle. And Zendaya is great. I think she actually really improved her character from Homecoming.
She didn't have much to do in the
exactly.
first one.
She just kind of was the brooding,
just kind
bad girl that you just
threw a couple one-liners and then exited.
Exactly. And
knew too much about the what did you say his name was? Peter Parker?
Peter Parker, Tom Holland.
She knew too much about him.
Yeah.
He was not doing this class anymore either.
Yeah.
I may have just watched it the other day again.
Yeah, of course. Oh, and I appreciate Jim for doing his research. But yeah, she doesn't have much to do, and she kind of comes across as that's not really what I assume MJ to be.
Yeah.
But in this next one, she really kind of you see why she acts the way she does, and it really is. She has a bigger role in the movie. Ned, on the other hand, his best friend, kind of takes a step back, and she kind of fills in that role where Ned really was more important.
I loved his line in the first one, I was looking at porn.
That was a really highlight moment for me as well. So it's a high school.
Because you were like, you can watch porn on the computer
in high school.
Mine's blocked. I tried it. I tried every website
many times. No. I'm a good kid.
No.
No.
Never.
Braden's mom watching this. Yeah, never.
Never.
She'll tell you the right sites.
Anyway, so it's a fun time. I left.
So is it kind of like Spider-Man 2 where it's more about
No.
Peter Parker? Like, because it's more him dealing with the scope of his
and
powers.
It's
and
actually
stuff.
funny that you bring that up because I rewatched Spider-Man 2 and the original Spider-Man before I went and saw Far From Home, just to kind of because I haven't seen those movies in a while, and I just kind of wanted to make sure that they're still good. And
Spider-Man 2 now refers to 3 different movies.
Exactly. Well, that was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Far From Home, and now Spider-Man 2. So those are the twos. And in my opinion, Spider-Man 2 is still the best of the live-action Spider-Man movies. Spider-Verse is the best, obviously.
Spider-Verse was great. Yeah.
In your humble opinion.
In my humble opinion, Spider-Verse is the best, and which is the right opinion.
I don't know.
And
I loved Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
And
he was
it's
just such a
funny.
menacing villain.
It's
great.
funny that you like because I remember because Spider-Man 1 is really the movie that really kind of sparked my love for
superhero
movies. And
which came out first? Was it Spider-Man or X-Men?
It's X-Men.
X-Men
was
came out first.
And
I know those were around the same time.
It was right around the same time. And that was the thing, but I rewatched it again and it just a lot of the things didn't age well. The CGI, they use it way too much in Spider-Man 1 and it just doesn't look nice.
Yeah.
And a lot of the lines that they say are so cheesy. Mary Jane screams the entire movie.
Yeah.
And like
it's one that's best left in the back of your head than
nostalgia.
In front of your eyes.
It's nostalgia. And Tobey Maguire looks like he's 30 in high school. Same with Andrew Garfield. He looked like he was 30 in high school.
Andrew Garfield's my favorite Spider-Man.
I think he's the best Spider-Man, but I don't think he's the best
Tobey
Peter
Maguire
Parker.
is the better Peter Parker.
Yeah. And I think Tom Holland's the perfect amalgamation of both
a little
of them.
bit of both, yeah.
But the dark themes, and I noticed this really, because Tobey Maguire was so much older, they were able to go to these dark places a lot faster than they are with Tom Holland, who's they're wanting to keep him in high school for a lot longer than they did in the first 15 minutes of Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, he's done with high school in the first 20 minutes.
Beats a bully and moves on.
Moves on, graduates, and gets a job as a pizza guy.
Does a backflip over a guy and launches him backward into pudding.
That's another thing. Nobody ever brings it up. Like in The Amazing Spider-Man, he throws a football and bends the flag, like a kick post, whatever, the field goal post. I'm a sports fan.
I'm a sports guy.
Sports, yes.
Don't you work for a sports station?
I do.
You mean the uprights?
The
field goal posts?
He bends it, and then also he jumps over, smashes the back.
They made him way too cool in that one. Like he was skateboarding, crazy. Like he didn't look like someone that get picked on in high school.
Exactly. And so the dark themes in Spider-Man 2, they were able to really dive into the fact that he's missing out on so much of his life, and he's not able to go after the girl because he's always.
We're in Spider-Man 2 now, right?
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire. He's able to go out and save people and sacrifice so much of his life and kind of go away from his friends, and they're noticing him, and then he kind of gives up being Spider-Man.
And he loses his powers and
exactly
stuff,
in his mental state and stuff like that. So that theme, and I'd love to see Tom Holland be able to go for that soon, but that's kind of
they want to keep him in high school longer.
Yeah. Well, he wants to do a Spider-Verse with Tobey and Garfield.
I would love that.
That would be great.
So much fun.
Take my money right now.
That would be so much fun. But Tom Holland, I want to see him as Spider-Man for the next 20 years. I'd love to kind of go through the process of him
he's 47.
I'd love to see it.
He's got a new hip.
Exactly. I'd be
old man Holland.
Be intrigued to see him as old as Tony Stark was when he left the MCU. Just kind of see Tom grow up in the role.
Do you think they'll be going for another 20 years?
If they still make as much money as they
Yeah. What do you think would be the next end game? Like what would be
It's a hard thing because I know that they just got the Sony Well, Fox. They have Sony and Fox now, so they can do X-Men,
Avengers versus
Doctor
X-Men.
Doom. Doctor Doom, they haven't brought in
Galactus.
Galactus is another one. This guy knows his stuff. This guy knows his stuff.
Nerds.
He's got Doctor Doom, you got Green Goblin that I haven't brought in yet.
Yeah, well, they can do the whole Sinister Six. Yeah,
exactly.
Jeez.
And
so should we see this movie?
I think you should.
I took it off the tangent. I'll claim responsibility on that one.
It's my fourth favorite of the Spider-Man movies. I'm going to see it on Friday with my sister.
How many there are to say that it's your fourth?
Yeah,
favorite.
right. There's a lot. So there's the two Amazing Spider-Man. There's the three original Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Now there's two, so 7.
And then there's the
so it's
Spider-Verse.
your fourth favorite.
There's
so there's
8.
3 behind it, which I'm guessing.
There's 8 total.
Oh, Spider-Verse you're counting.
Yep.
Okay.
So-
So I'm guessing so it's 4. There's another 4. So Spider-Man 3 is in the behind.
Yep.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Spider-Man 3. Well, I already said Spider-Man 3.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yep.
And Spider-Man 1?
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the 4 that I have behind it.
Mind reading powers.
So, and it's hard. I
like his finger skills on a podcast
it's
too.
fair. Well, we got cameras, so we have.
Yeah, there's a camera. I was told there was a camera. I'm not sure if that's a camera.
Oh yeah,
It's for different things.
Yeah, that's for the after-hour show.
Oh, no.
And
What?
we got. But yeah, it's a good time. I might switch it after I see it again. The writing in it's very clever. It's very much an MCU movie more so, and that's kind of the hard part with these it being tied to everything is that you don't get these singular made movies anymore. Where,
No, they're building up to something.
yeah, they're always expanding. There's always connections to things. Which this one actually, there's a nice connection to an older movie that if you've paid attention to all the MCU movies, it's kind of a cool throwback.
I'm excited to see it. I might go see if it's playing after I get out of here over the gateway.
If we let you out.
if I can get out before the after-hours show.
That's true. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's a good time. Spider-Man's my boy. I love Spider-Man. He's my favorite superhero. So I'm always intrigued to see what happens next. And without further ado, I want to hear about Stuber.
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 Well, Emily went with me.
Yeah, I was wondering who you're going to bring for your +1.
Not
really. I know you're.
I did not get a text.
I'm sorry. Next
True.
time, Junior. Next time,
Junior got
because we're so close, like this. So we got the invite to go do the Stuber, which actually stars 2 of my I really like Kumail. I'm not going to pronounce his last name.
Nanjiani.
Nanjiani.
Yes.
I think you're pretty close.
Yeah.
And then
Keep going.
Nanjiani.
and
Keep
Mr.
going, though.
Bautista, who I think both of them, I watched both movies that they've been doing. And I thought Bautista was really good in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's really good in Blade Runner.
Blade Runner,
and he's got this nice little Bautista character that he's turning into.
Yeah.
That he's really good at. Big thug guy with little short one-liners.
Even in Blade Runner, he that was his one dramatic role that he did
stepped
really well.
outside the Drax.
but he still had the quiet, humble,
reserved,
big guy.
You're right.
I
And
too
then-
am extraordinarily humble.
He's kind of the same thing in this, and then Kumail is obviously he is the one-line king. He can make anything funny, and it's basically a buddy cop film that's with lots of action and over the top because it's rated R, so they got a lot of
It's
over the
really
top graphic, and then there's also a lot of language, and they can go as far as they want with it because it's rated R.
They
know
don't get put in timeout when they say
They
it.
do not.
You're not done yet.
And just sit there and count in your head. But then it's a buddy cop film, and I laughed a few times. Emily loved it.
Yeah.
I was laughing the whole time.
She just loved it, and a lot of
I
it. And
eat
and to be
up
fair,
action comedies.
everyone else
It was-
in the audience was
the whole-
laughing.
yeah, everyone was
They
laughing
gave it
a
a
lot.
they clapped a lot.
Okay.
And at the end, they gave it and they were telling the lady, like, please tell me what you think. They're like, the bunny rabbits.
Was he there?
I didn't see him, but I
Okay.
wish he was. Look at all the bunny rabbits.
We're gonna get him on the show.
Yeah, I'm going to find that dude. We're going to become friends.
Kumail Nanjiani.
No,
there's a guy that follows us to all these premieres. And somehow we always get sat next to him, and he's one of those loud popcorn eaters and talks through the movies and has nothing and has really bad BO, and it always ends up sitting next
The
to me.
worst movie guest ever. Only cherry on top would be him opening a tiny little hole in a bag of Skittles and just
Pretty close.
Yeah, he does that with popcorn.
Yeah.
Though. He just
Oh yeah, he's good. And last time he sat by me, I was in Brady's lap. But anyways, so Stuber is basically about a guy. He drives Uber. His name is Stu.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
Stuber, and his boss that he actually has calls him Stuber because he thinks it's funny, and hilarity ensues. My big problem with it is the talent of Bautista and Kumail doesn't warrant such a weak script.
Okay.
It's an 80s cop film.
It is. It's very
With a-
formulaic. I will give
You
it
know
that.
without giving anything away, you know exactly what's going to happen in this movie.
But they did such a good. It's so enjoyable to watch.
sometimes an easy watch like that is what you need at the
Sometimes.
theater.
It is an
Sometimes.
easy watch. It.
But they went to
Great
the
jokes.
same gags though forever. Like for instance, one of the gags that was through the whole movie, Bautista can't see without his glasses, so he gets LASIK, and so he can't see through the whole movie, and it's like this whole running gag. Kumail keeps doing basically the same jokes of how he just wants a 5-star rating, and that's the only reason why he's in it. And it doesn't change for 90 minutes.
So serious film. Well, people who take movies seriously and like movie
I like
critics,
those actors. They had no script.
Yeah.
I'll bet you
Like-
everything that was funny in that movie, they ad-libbed.
Improv.
I guarantee it. It was a premise. They made it, but they went too far with it, and nobody told them to stop.
Yeah.
And it would have been, I don't know, you could have watched it on AMC with commercials, and it probably would have been more fun.
Is this a movie that
more fun or funner? What would it do?
More fun.
This is like a Transformers type movie. It's an easy watch. It's just entertaining.
Transformers
it's
is
just
not
laugh.
easy
but
to watch,
enjoyable
and
to
it's
watch.
not fun. Transformers is crap.
Honestly, it's a Bumblebee
That's
movie.
what I'm saying.
0 out of
I
5
love
stars.
Transformers.
In
It's
my opinion-
entertaining to me.
In my opinion, I would wait till it was on HBO.
Yeah,
and
okay,
I
so it's
told Emily this movie's gonna bomb.
Yeah.
It's not going to make money, and the biggest problem with that is they're going to go back and say it's Bautista's fault, it's Kumail's fault, and they can't carry a movie, and it's not their fault. It's the writing, it's just mismanaged. It's not.
It's super basic.
You know why
but
also
fun.
it's going to fail? It's because it's coming out the same day as The Farewell.
What is that?
The movie with Aquafina. It's
Who?
the Sundance
The
movie.
water bottle?
No. Yes.
They're competing against a water bottle.
No, she's the
His tears are just condensation drips down
Did
the
you
side.
ever watch Crazy Rich Asians?
No.
Okay, so she's the breakout comedic role in.
Oh, it's a person.
Yeah,
Aquafina.
she's great, and it's one of the best films at Sundance this last Sundance. It's sitting at 100% Rotten Tomatoes. It comes out July 12th, and
This one's going to get bombed, and it's not going to make money, and they're going to blame it on those two, and it's not their fault.
yeah.
But
that's
Emily,
unfortunate.
on the other
Well,
hand,
no, it's not just me. If you go to hashtag Stuber review,
It's
which
getting
is what they
it's at
ask
60
people
currently.
to do,
It's at 50.
yeah,
The
it was 60
audience
this morning,
enjoyed
so
it.
that's how much
On
it's dropped
16.
in one day.
It's 16 people that have reviewed it though. So.
Yeah, so
So it's
it
go
can, it can
hashtag
move.
Stuber review. I am not the only one that thought that was hilarious.
So I'm glad you liked it, and I'm like I said, I was really intrigued for this movie.
Yeah,
I love Kumail. I think the last movie I saw him was The Big Sick,
yeah, which is hilarious.
he's
I love
awesome.
that film. I own that film. That's
Yeah.
a great film.
and he wrote that.
And he's
one.
great in. Have you seen Silicon Valley on HBO?
Mhm.
It's a great series. With Mike Judge made that one. It's so good.
Well, this is a first-time writer of script writer too.
Yeah, and then the guy that directed it also did.
Stuber was his first time writer?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the guy that's directing it also did Goon,
Yeah, it's his Goon and What If.
the hockey player that.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Goon.
Yeah,
Okay, I've heard of it. I've
I
never
think I
seen
saw
it.
part of it on TV
they just
once,
did
but I'm not
they
too
just did
familiar.
part 2 just recently.
That's
so.
what I heard. So, all right.
yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It's
Hashtag
I
Stuber
had-
review. I'm not the only one that thought it was funny.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
But-
Go spend your $12.50 for popcorn and tell me I'm right.
$12.50 down payment on popcorn.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's jump into our flashback movie reviews.
Flashback movie reviews. Now you need a song in
I know,
here.
I
This
know.
would be good for the 4th of July thing that you
This
put
would
in.
be this would be a good spot.
We
for it.
have our freedom. It's been a while since I've seen that.
I had Jim watch Good Time.
Good time.
What'd you think of it?
Good time. So with the title of Good Time, I was expecting
A
a
good time?
little bit of good time.
Yeah.
However, I
It is
found
not. There's nothing good that
I
happens.
found out what good time actually means in context of this film. It's when you do good in prison, they let you off for a good time.
Yeah.
And so the movie starts off with two brothers that have a bank heist, and it goes awry.
almost immediately.
Well, yeah, it's got to have, but it's actually kind of like I liked the way that they robbed the bank, and I liked how it got set up. And then the one brother ends up going into prison and gets beat up. And so the other brother, who is our friend from Twilight, Cedric Diggory.
Robert
Oh, yeah.
Pattinson.
Cedric Diggory.
Battinson.
Pretty sure it's
Pattinson,
Cedric.
because he's Batman now.
Pretty sure it's Cedric Diggory. He tries to bust his brother out, who just got beat up at the hospital, ends up taking home the wrong dude. And that's
I missed that completely the first time I
Oh,
watched
did
it. I thought it was the right dude
Yeah.
for the longest time, and then I was like, "Wait, what?"
Why does he speak so well all of a sudden?
Exactly.
Because his brother's got like a speech impediment, a little bit mentally, problems,
Yeah.
and not all there, but definitely enough with it he could go for a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Movie doesn't really have much other than the fantastic acting of Robert Pattinson.
What do you think of their kind of changing up his look from being the pretty boy kind of thing? He looks terrible in that, with his shaggy blonde hair.
Well, the reason there's a mugshot in it where his headshot's completely it's shaven off because I guess between dyeing it from blonde to black, his hair started falling out.
Oh, so he just shaved it.
So he shaved it, and then they were like, "Oh, we need a mugshot picture." That's why his mugshot's shaven.
Huh.
Yeah,
interesting.
That's the kind of nerd alert.
Yeah.
He was kind of reminiscent of what's his Ryan Gosling in Place Beyond the Pines, where he's
Ryan Gosling
bleached
is so
blonde
dreamy.
hair.
He's dreamy. Can we just talk about Gosling for a minute? La La Land makes me cry. You know why La La Land makes me cry?
Why?
It is proof that you can't have your dream job and your dream girl. You got to pick one.
That's why I love that. That's exactly why I love that
It's
movie.
not proof, it's a movie.
You can't have both. And he proved it.
It's a musical.
Ryan Gosling
proved it.
It's a written story.
Other than that opening number
Somebody
that sucked.
created that.
So
ending.
anyways, good time.
funny
I
opening
also
number.
like the writers, directors, the one brother that has the speech impediment. He's one of the writers / directors as well.
Joshua Safdie.
Yeah. And they are, I want to see what else they've done now because it's definitely gritty, definitely dark, hard to watch. But the fact that they're getting their movies made
very fast paced
for nothing really going on.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of dialogue, just talking,
and it's so quick.
Yeah, but I watched the whole thing. I didn't have to stop it. I liked it. I like Robert Pattinson. I could actually see him playing something other than just a pretty boy. He was not a nice guy.
Oh yeah.
He's not
a total jerk.
He is not a good person.
Oh no, and that's kind of why I wanted everyone to watch it, just because I have only seen him before I started on this Pattinson train.
I love it when actors, kind of just step away from what they have been.
Well, he's been trying to do that so hard since
him
Twilight.
and the other Twilight girl,
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart did the same thing. They both kind of went away and didn't take roles because from what reports
they had to do what Natalie Portman kind of did after
Star Wars.
After the prequels, she stepped back and
just did her own thing
and let people forget about them for a little bit, and then came back in.
From what I understand, Robert and Kristen Stewart for her, they both had opportunities to take fairly big roles,
and they turned them down to do these art house films,
so that people would just quit thinking them that they're these big stars.
I don't think that Taylor Lautner guy's coming back though. I think.
Shark Boy?
Shark Boy?
He's lost.
Well, he was in Twilight also.
No, he's Shark Boy. He will always be Shark Boy to me.
That was a god-awful movie.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's Robert Rodriguez at his finest.
That is.
Here's the thing.
You know where Shark Boy and Lava Boy came from?
It's from his kid.
His kids wrote that.
Yeah, his kids wrote that.
So you just back off.
So that gives you you can't be like, this sucks, it's my kids. Like, just so you know, don't bash
Taylor
me.
Lautner in his career.
Yeah, he sucks.
He has like, I'm looking
No
quickly,
acting
15 film credits. Every single one of them are rotten on Rotten.
Yeah, they're terrible.
The highest rated one is 49%, and that's Twilight.
The first Twilight?
The first Twilight, and then the second, the very last one.
It really didn't age well.
Last movie I can remember with him was one that would play on loop at the movie theater, a little clip of it. It was like Abduction or something.
Yeah, where he was the lead.
He would jump into a pool and the fire would explode, and then the clip would start over.
Anyway, so...
So, but I love that he's going to be Batman because I love the director of this new trilogy.
Oh yeah,
I am a huge fan of the Planet of the Monkey trilogy.
Oh yeah, I love Planet.
And I know he only did the second and the third one.
Which director?
Planet of the Apes.
Matt Reeves is his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did Planet of the Monkeys 2 and Planet of the
Monkeys.
Monkeys.
New ones.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
He did all
the
three.
War
of them.
for Planet of the.
So it was Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then War for the
Dawn of the Rise of the War.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And like if you look at the titles, none of them make sense. Like they don't, because Dawn comes first, then Rise, and then War, and then War doesn't actually happen in the third one. War is in the second one. It's just whatever.
Cool. Well,
but they're all great.
Yeah, they're great. Well, Emily came in at the second half of Good Time, and she was enough where she watched it to where she goes, "Well, geez, I guess I should watch the first half."
Did you like it, Emily?
Yes.
My sister thought it was incredibly high anxiety, so she stopped watching it.
Yeah, I want to watch the first half, but then he kind of explained it to me, and I was like, okay, I understand the story, because I only wanted to watch it for the story. But I put the pieces together, so I don't really need it, because I got enough of the acting and the writing and the whole thing, because it was pretty intense. It was well done. It's a good movie. It's just a good, solid movie.
It's one of those ones that doesn't get talked about a
lot,
but it's a hidden gem. Yeah.
Well, and talked about
He got
his
like a-
writing and his directing, but the Joshua Safdie, the brother character, he really was one of my favorite parts in the movie. Kind of he's the guy that you sympathize with in that movie because you want Robert Pattinson to get him out of jail because
the whole credits are just him in the class for the gifted, and he's just walking across back and forth, and you're just like, well, at least he's found something.
At least he
Yeah,
has something.
his brother's
not in jail
His
anymore.
brother's not a good dude.
his brother was abusing his troubles and all those things.
Robert, I guess, got a 5-minute standing ovation at, I want to say, Tribeca.
Mm-hmm.
After that one premiered, I think it was Tribeca, maybe it had been Toronto, but I think it was Tribeca.
You think it's because they just had no idea that he had this in him?
I probably might have. Adam Sandler actually got like a 5-minute standing ovation for the one that he did that's on Netflix. The
Murder mystery?
No. That one set all sorts of Netflix records. But no, he's in one where he's another one of his serious roles. He's only done 3 of them.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Came out the same time as Good Time. Now I can't remember.
Nobody ever talked about it.
It was. I watched it. I can't remember
Is it the one
name
where
of it.
is it the one where he's cheating on his wife or something? That
Is
kind of.
it the Meyer
Yes.
stories?
Yes, that's the
Whatever.
one.
There's one that's a
Meyerowitz.
bunch of intersecting stories. I don't remember what it's called. Something children, and it's like all these intersecting stories, and he's like cheating on his wife. Then like Dean Norris from Breaking Bad's like another character. But yeah, it was another serious role for Sandler.
To transition. Sorry.
He was nominated for a Golden Globe in the movie I did with him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To transition
Yes.
from that. Hell or High Water. Another.
Water.
And I said this before, but Chris Pine is one of those actors I enjoy watching.
Captain Kirk, baby.
I watch him and enjoy whatever he's in. Ben
Yeah.
Foster does a great job. Jeff Bridges.
Ben Foster. I like watching Ben Foster
I
movies.
love Ben
Yeah.
Foster.
He's good.
Ben
310
Foster
to
was-
Yuma,
Did
he
you
was
watch him in
great in.
Warcraft?
Yes, I did actually.
Did you like it? Did you like Warcraft?
It was yeah.
So did
I feel like Ben Foster gets overlooked a lot, but he's great.
Well, you can go on like iTunes and stuff and buy Ben Foster films for like $4.99, and they're excellent.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
because nobody's paying for them, and so you can go buy them. And I'm like, hey, that was good too.
I had a fun time with that.
Yeah.
I caught this right around when I first started getting really into the Oscar buzz movies. This is the first year that me and my buddies up at school watched all of the Oscar nominations in one sitting. Not one sitting, but one Christmas break or something like that. And this is the one that I enjoyed the most. Well, I think that was the year that Mad Max came out.
Yeah,
I think
that's
and
about the
Spotlight.
same time.
Mad Max, Spotlight, those movies, and The Martian. I think those are like that year. And
was the Hateful Eight on that one as well, or was that a different?
No, we could
I don't
pull
think
it
so.
up, but
I don't think so.
But anyways, but
it's so good. I mean, and we were talking.
Bank Heist.
Yeah, JR and I talking about it. It's a modern day Western film.
Yeah.
And it's done really well. Taylor Sheridan does a great job in the script. I think it's a great script. They both, and David Mackenzie's an awesome director. And
the Big Lebowski's chasing after him.
Yeah,
Suspects
they
that he's
utilize their actors amazingly in that. They know what they're good at, and they know how to put them to use.
the dude abides.
is Jeff Bridges like getting harder to understand as he gets older, or
He's just getting more whiskey soaked.
like because I've noticed that in a few movies that he's just like
Doesn't even try.
he just like it's just his drawl gets so like lost, and you're just like, what did he say?
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
That's true. Is that Big Lebowski?
Lebowski.
You mean like Vincent D'Onofrio in The Usual Suspects, where he was literally mumbling, and it would. So if you watched a lot of those takes where
Vincent D'Onofrio
where the
does that a lot.
other characters are, no, it wasn't D'Onofrio. Was it D'Onofrio? No, or was
He
it?
has a really gravelly voice sometimes.
Who was in
too.
Usual Suspects? Who was the one that? Not Vincent D'Onofrio. No, it was the other
Benicio
one.
del
Benicio del Toro. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I get them mixed up.
Give me the keys.
But he just mumbles. But the other actors didn't know he was going to do that,
Uh-huh.
and so when you see a lot of them going, "Are you serious?" Like when they're like getting upset with him, it's really the actors.
They're like, "Give me
like what are
something
you
to
do?
act
What are you?"
off of.
And then they had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they went and
They're
watched
like,
it later.
I can't
and they're-
hear you, so I can't
and
react
so
off of you.
they're actually getting pissed at him.
Yeah,
And then when you
that's
go and
hilarious.
watch the movie later, like, okay, that was actually quite
Let's
brilliant.
Yeah.
get back to
Oh,
Hell or High
did I do
Water.
that again?
Hell or High
It's
Water.
me and him, kind of. We're like passing back the sidetrack ball.
No, it's okay.
The sidetrack ball.
Yeah, we're just throwing it back
It's
and
another
forth.
bank heist.
It kind of worked out that way, didn't it?
Yeah. It's funny how that.
Yeah, didn't
I
even think about
plan,
that.
didn't
Yeah.
plan
I
it
thought
that
that's
way.
what it was. Like you guys were paralleling
No.
to bank heist movies.
No, we just
He just threw it to me, and I was like,
the Hell or High Water. But yeah,
I want to swear.
And then it's another movie where we're following two guys that we shouldn't like.
Yeah.
It's
But
also probably the third movie where Ben Foster's on rocks shooting down at people.
Yeah.
I watched Lone Survivor, 310 to Yuma, and this one.
I'll watch Ben Foster shoot down off rocks.
Yeah.
So, what'd you originally think of this movie, Jim?
I loved it. I thought it was just one of those where you just enjoyed watching it, and you were, as much as you wanted Jeff Bridges to catch him, at the same time, you're kind of hoping that they didn't. And then the way it kind of goes, puts it together, it kind of works out for both characters at the end, except for the one that dies. That's a letdown.
It's also a relatable story in this day, and because there's a lot of people around that are in this circumstance that they don't want to be in, and there's always that thought that crosses your mind, like, what can I do to get out of this? Like, and these guys actually did it.
I hope just like with everything's a comic book movie right now, and it's gonna go away. It's not gonna stay as popular. I'm not saying that they'll go away, but there's not gonna be a new comic book movie every single month. Just like we remember when everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" Like everything used to be westerns, and then the westerns went away, but they shouldn't have gone completely away. And hopefully this kind of brings them
a renaissance.
Comes
of
back
Western.
to
a little bit backward. By the way, Grandma almost threw away a box set of Clint Eastwood's like collection from his first movie all the way to like 2016 that Grandpa had. That's still in its plastic with books and like there's 36 films in there, and she was going to give it to the DI. And Dave's like, "What are you doing?"
It's like,
I was interested about Clint Eastwood the other day. I was like, why didn't they, John Wayne and him, ever do a movie together? I guess they didn't like each other. Like John Wayne really disliked Clint Eastwood. And
John Wayne was full of shit.
Well, and
that's what killed him.
Yeah. Well,
everyone's like, "No, he had cancer." Yeah, he had cancer, but he had like 45 pounds of feces in him, and that's what killed him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The more you know.
He was not a healthy person.
The more you
That's
know.
what killed him.
But Chris Pine, this was the first movie he really had that
out of Star Trek.
Kind of really got him just Oscar looked where he kind of got put into more.
Summer blockbusters are one thing, but these, like movies like this, they really get you looked at seriously.
Well, because before that he was the lead in Star Trek. That was kind of his big thing. And then he had smaller. No, it's literally Star Trek was his first big role.
And he was Jack Ryan.
Yeah, and then Jack Ryan, and then everyone's just like, oh, he's just the pretty guy. And then this is the first one where he really kind of just like lost himself in a role, which was really cool.
Little stubble.
Exactly, a little mustache.
Little mustache.
So yeah,
I can't grow a mustache.
You can't either.
Yeah, this is the best it gets.
This is my attempted mustache.
He's 23.
More than me.
Yeah,
more than me. But yeah, so we got 5 minutes left. Let's challenge. Let's do some movie challenges. Well, talk about
movie challenges.
Oh, Blue Ruin, real quick.
Yeah.
So Blue Ruin, which is the movie that the director did before Green Room, that's the one that Jean-Luc Picard plays a bad guy in. If you haven't seen that one's fantastic. It's the last film that I can't think of his name now. He died from Star Trek as well.
Heavens, I'll pull it real quick.
Victor.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah, that's him.
Like
so this is the last one that he was still alive when it released. So he had other ones that came out after he was dead.
Posthumously.
Yeah, but this is the last one that was released before he died. There was Green Room, but the director made a movie before that called Blue Ruin that's actually got better ratings than Green Room did. They're both rated like 7.1 to 7.0. It's very intense. I think there's 3 characters in the whole movie. I mean, there's some side characters, but for the most part, for almost 2 hours, it's 3 people talking. People die, shoot 'em ups. It's if you don't like dialogue and if you don't like watching slow movies that have a purpose but move very slowly through it, and a lead guy that's not very good at revenge. It's a revenge story by a guy that has no business
trying to get revenge
is the only way I can, and kind of lucks his way through some of it and gets a little help. But it's really good, and this director I really like. And the whole reason why he did Green Room is because he got a little success from Blue Ruin, and so he wanted to make Green Room because he knew before anyone else would make it, because normally new filmmakers don't get to make a movie like Green Room, but at the same time, so you don't get that to be your first one. But if he made other, they want him to do other. So anyway, he had this whole backstory, and so he got Green Room done because of Blue Ruin. And so I'm like, that's the kind of way I'd like to get in as a director. You know, make one movie that kind of got into Sundance and got some plug to make another movie, not go straight into big budgets, but make another, because we talked about that last week. The guys going into the big budgets, and then they go and say the director can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked his trajectory as a director, but it's not a movie that you can just sit down with the family and go, oh,
it's not a
nice.
Casual watch. You want to go in and analyze everything.
That's nice.
All right. Well,
but I would definitely, if you go see it.
Go ahead. Go check
Netflix.
it out. It's on Netflix. Yes, definitely. And then opening this week, so it's 4th of July weekend. Families are looking for things to go out and see. Midsommar.
Definitely Midsommar.
Which is the next movie from the
Hereditary.
The director who directed Hereditary. So
and that's a local. They made that here.
Did they? Oh yeah, and they did shoot it here. But you got Spider-Man coming out this weekend. So if you're a family, go.
Oh, I thought you wanted them to go see Midsommar.
Oh, you can go.
It's
see
getting
that too.
great reviews.
It's another good one. Yeah,
I hear you won't be able to sleep for a few days.
Traumatize your children for only $8.99.
That's what I mean. It's like your family probably. Also, yesterday came out. I mean, it's
came out on a Tuesday. How do they do a weekend box office when it's already been out for a week?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
It's tough. But yeah, so I would say go see Spider-Man Far From Home. If you're if you're more adult and not have kids, maybe Midsommar is a good one to go look at.
Is it summer or sommer?
Midsummer.
Right. Who knows? Just like Ex Machina.
I just assumed it was
Machina,
Midsummer and they just spelled it differently because it was a different. It's like in Norway or something. Isn't that where it's set or something?
We'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I have no idea. All
right, Junior. I like to ask the guests, but first you can kick us off. Give us a movie that we should. Give us a movie we should watch.
So I'd say, have you guys? I'm sure you guys have both seen it. The original Dawn of the Dead, like back in the 70s.
Yeah, it's something that might have, like, the idea is something that most people might have missed. Not anything that has any kind of a cult following. Just more like one of your little favorite films.
Something that might have been missed.
Yeah, that people are like, what?
You guys seen Logan Lucky?
I have not. Is that
Charlie's in that?
Okay, yeah, Charlie Halford.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's really good. We'll put Logan Lucky on it because I want you to watch it.
Okay.
Talon got done watching that movie.
It's kind of along the same
that guy
vein
looks like Charlie.
As the two movies this week. It's what made me think of it when I was watching
Logan Lucky.
When I was watching Good Time, I was like, this is a less fun Logan Lucky.
Yeah. The director is the same one that did Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Mr. Soderbergh.
Channing Tatum and Adam Driver.
Okay, that's what I was like. Yeah, okay.
And Charlie was
Adam Driver.
Charlie was cut out of Ocean's 11, and then all these years later, he's now in Logan Lucky. And
I ran into Charlie on the Good Joe Bell one. He talked with him for a while. He's a pretty cool dude.
He was my little brother's best friend growing up. So
oh, cool.
We've been friends with Charlie.
Charlie's
a long time.
I met him first time I met him, and he talked to me for 20 minutes, like nicest guy ever. Yeah.
All right, I went first last time. Brady, what you got?
Okay. There's a few that I've been wanting to check out just for people to go back and watch. A movie that I don't think my generation watched enough that I've been really wanting to go back and watch, just kind of to have because it's known as one of the greatest movies of all time.
Is it Lion King?
Yes. No. It's The Godfather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a movie that's
old enough that we could throw that back in.
Yeah, and okay. I watched The Godfather 2 years ago. I bought them on Blu-ray, just the pack. And just
throw the third one away.
Oh, I still have the third one.
It's in there.
And it's one of those movies that I should have just thrown my phone at the door and just like sat and watched it, because I sat on my phone for the majority of the movie
and just didn't realize what was going on.
And I missed it. So it's a movie that I kind of want everyone to go back and watch.
The Corleones?
So The Godfather.
Godfather. All right. I've been needing an excuse to go back and watch them. So good. The movie I have for you, my friend, is called A Ghost Story.
A Ghost Story. Is that a spoof?
Not a spoof. This has got younger Affleck, Mr. Casey Affleck, as the lead.
Okay, I see.
And he dies and becomes a ghost.
And Rooney Mara?
Yeah.
Okay. How much pottery is there in this ghost?
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
Especially the fact you haven't seen it. I'm going to make you watch it, and then we'll talk about it next week.
You can find it on...
It's on Amazon Prime.
So, cool. And you can find Godfather on Netflix as well.
Is it?
Yeah. You can find it on Netflix.
I just have them, so.
So do I, but you can, if for those that are listening.
You can come over and borrow them if you need to. Yeah. Just give me a call.
Hit up Jim. Emily?
Yeah?
Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
We are just over 1 hour.
Perfect. So we cut out a little bit of JR stuff.
Yeah,
we'll hit it
all
perfectly.
of my nonsense.
We'll be good.
Exactly. So, yeah. Also, before we leave...
Happy 4th.
Yeah, happy 4th to everyone. Appreciate it.
Why doesn't Europe celebrate 4th of July?
Because they lost.
Suckers.
And we have a lot of good things going forward for the show. We also got just an early screening to go see Hobbs and Shaw at the end of July.
Knobs and Hobbs.
Knobs and Hobbs.
Hobbs and Jobs.
Wallace and Gromit.
So, yes. Yeah. The comic.
The live action adaptation of Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. Fast and Furious side offer.
The known as the movie franchise that'll officially kill the Fast and Furious saga.
Well,
where
they're bringing in
it's-
John Cena because I don't think The Rock and Vin Diesel
they
get
don't like
along.
it. They
Yeah,
don't.
they're not good friends.
So,
and
but
they're
I
bringing
have a
Cena.
feeling. I'm feeling this Hobbs and Shaw thing will keep going, and then
Yeah.
the Fast and Furious movies will go
Dude,
away.
I hope so. I mean, I watched all of them recently again. Went back through them all just because
Wow.
they're on.
long.
Yeah, and they're the same movie
Who
over
would
and
have
over again.
thought? Who would have thought Fast and Furious would be in the upper echelon of 10 movie
Oh
franchises?
Well, especially when he left, he had he did Pitch Black, he did Fast and Furious, and then he did Triple X all at the same time.
Vin Diesel.
And the one Vin Diesel, and the one that he went to do a sequel for was Pitch Black. Pitch Black is an excellent film, and so we went and did a second one where it was okay with this
Riddick?
Riddick. Well,
Yeah.
Riddick's the third one.
Oh,
The second one is what is it? The Chronicles of
Chronicles of
or
Riddick.
whatever it is. But Pitch Black is awesome. And so but then all of a sudden he's like, I'm not doing those other ones. I only could pick one franchise. And so he didn't do Triple X, and he didn't do Fast and Furious. But then returned to both of them.
Because Fast and Furious is the one that makes some money.
Yes. Well, go
But
back and
so-
watch Riddick.
So yeah, that we'll be seeing that July 30th. And I'll be honest, the Fast
Pitch
and Furious,
Black, not Riddick. Sorry.
Fast and
Riddick was
Furious
okay.
movies are a guilty
Hobbs and Knobs.
pleasure.
I'm excited for it.
Guilty pleasure movies. I
Yeah.
love craziness of how the Rock has become this superhuman. Like he can pull like helicopters out of the sky.
Right.
He can kick a
He can
torpedo.
climb skyscrapers with
Yeah,
a fake leg.
Exactly. Oh, that too. And he can also kick torpedoes. He can run down skyscrapers.
And
It's
don't get me started with Jason Statham.
oh yeah, Jason Statham, another one.
Dude, that bald man can
Are we
kick some
gonna
butt.
are we gonna flash back to the transporter when he took down a guy with a shirt that he ripped off of himself?
We can.
Rubbed himself in
were.
himself up in
I was-
oil.
So yeah, I
put
don't
bike
want to keep
spokes
it,
on his
keep
feet
us
and
going.
kick some butt.
Another thing that I'm hoping that happens, and maybe if I speak it into existence, I have applied for us to get press passes to
Yes.
FanX in September.
Just for the two of us.
Just for
the
Jim
two of
and-
us. Gemini.
For
That
Jim.
guy Gemini again.
It's like, Emily, you made me feel real sad right there.
Well, I got
didn't
all-
wanna, I didn't want to
No,
push my luck.
I did
don't
hosting it
count.
at
It's fine.
FanX one year.
That's why I was hoping
I mean,
that you
yay
have
for you
connections.
I know
guys
some
that
people over
I'm
there.
celebrating for the podcast.
Appreciate
I'm
it,
looking at
Emily.
you, Jared Phillips.
Yeah, so yeah, Jared, who's definitely listens to all
All
our
of
shows.
them.
So,
Your phone says time for bed.
yeah, it's
It's
too
time for
it's
bed.
too late.
All right,
so
cut it
anyway.
down. Get ready for the outro.
So yeah, get that outro going. Yeah, episode 14. This one went off the rails, but I think it was a good off the
Come
rails.
on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Too structured,
Jared.
just boring.
Exactly. I think they did really well. I appreciate you coming on, JR, and we're excited to.
We'll come see your movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had fun. I hope to see
We
you
don't
guys.
have anything better to do.
Whenever
Yeah.
Emily wants us to
Okay, bye.
leave, you can hit that
Right.
go button, Emily. See
Right.
if it actually works.
I can't hear
Maybe.
anything, Emily.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Oh,
When
great.
does media encounter the problem?
We'll do it the old school way.
Yeah,
All right,
I'll
well,
put
that's
it-
us signing off. Put it on yourself. Hi, Mom.
Bye, guys.